שיער אברהם, שמי מירי. נמצאת מתרגשת. האירוע היום זה מפגש בין בודהיזם למדע לפסיכולוגיה. בעצם ישבו פה היום דוקטור יאיר אברהם וגשה פמה דורג'ה. והאירוע הזה בעצם הוא אורגן על ידי עמותת ילידי הדרמה, שמביאה את הבודהיזם ה-c.b.t לישראל, ובשיתוף התוכנית הישראלית לטיפול קוגניטיבי התנהגותי שצינה יציג. אני אגיד כמה מילים על עמותת ילידי הדרמה. עמותת ילידי הדרמה זו עמותה שפועלת ללא מטרות רווח, והיא לא גובה תשלום על הפעילויות שלה. גם על האירוע היום אנחנו לא גובים תשלום. הפעילויות שלנו נעשות הכל בתרומה. אני יודעת שזה קצת מוזר לחלק מהאנשים, ואני אדבר על זה שוב בסוף ההרצאה, מה זה אומר תרומה, איך אפשר לעשות את התרומה. התרומות בעצם הולכות לכיסוי ההוצאות. שני המרצים הנכבדים שיושבים פה לא מקבלים תשלום על ההרצאה, אבל כמו כל דבר בעולם החומרי, העולם עולה כסף, הכיבוד עולה כסף, ובעצם התרומות שניתנו ילכו קודם כל לכיסוי ההוצאות, ומה שישאר אחר כך, מה שישאר, כי כולכם תהיו נורא נדיבים, ילך לפרויקטים השונים שגשה עושה במזרח, ועוד ובנפאל. יאיר אברהם, אני מאמינה שאין צורך להציג, אבל אני כן אציג קצת את גשה. גשה הוא נזיר במסורת הבודהיסטית הטיבטית. הוא מגיע לישראל, זה הפעם ה-12 כבר שהוא מגיע לישראל. הוא פעיל בהמון תחומים. הוא פעיל עם הפליטים הטיבטיים שמגיעים מסין לטיבט בעצם להודו. אחרי תקופות מאסר ולצערנו גם התעללות בבתי סוהר, והוא עובד איתם. הוא עובד איתם על העיבוד של הטראומות שהם עברו ולנסות לחזור לחיים נורמליים. במקביל יש לו פרויקטים של רווחה ובריאות גם בהודו וגם בנפאל. הוא מורה מאוד שהקהל הישראלי מאוד מתחבר אליו, אל האבזיות שלו, אל האנגלית הקולחת שלו, ואני בטוחה שאתם כולכם תזכו לחוות את זה. אנחנו מאוד מבקשים, לא יהיה הפסקה במהלך שעתיים, אז אנחנו מאוד מבקשים להשתדל לא לצאת, להיכנס, לכבות פלאפונים, כדי שזה לא יפריע לאחרים, ולחכות עם השאלות. אם יתאפשר בסוף שאלות, אז אנחנו נאפשר. ואם לא יתאפשר, אז בפעם הבאה.
אני יכולה להציג בכל זאת עם דוקטור יאיר אברהם, כי אני לא...
יציג את זה. למעלה בחוץ יש רשימת קבוצה של מי שמעוניין לקבל מידע על עוד פעילויות בסגנון של פסיכולוגיה, בודהיזם בכלל. יש ספר שתורגם לעברית על ידי עמותת ילידי הדרמה, שהוא ספר של הדלי למה, יש אפשרות לקנות אותו. ובסיום ההרצאה אני מבקשת לחכות עוד דקה-שתיים כדי שאני אוכל להגיד עוד מילה-שתיים, ואז נתפזר. I think I spoke enough, and I will give the stage to...
Okay, good evening. Maybe I'll start with a very brief introduction to c.b.t. My understanding is that most, if not all of you, are familiar to some extent with c.b.t, and it's not going to be an academic evening or lecture about c.b.t, but just a reminder. The behavioristic movement, which started mainly in the United States in the 40s and 50s of the previous century, was followed a few years later by the cognitive movement, which was led mainly by Aaron Beck and Albert Ellis. The difference between the first wave in c.b.t, the behavioristic wave, which was led by Skinner mainly, and the cognitive, the second wave, was that in the second wave, behaviorists started to realize that a major reason, or maybe the only reason, for psychological distress stems from the way people perceive, interpret the reality. The problem is not with the reality, but in the ways we approach it, understand it, interpret it to ourselves and others. And psychological distress like depression, anxiety, anger, and so on, stem from cognitive, what they call distortions. I'm not too happy with distortions because it implies that we, the therapists, will know something better than our clients, and there is some arrogance that goes with it. I prefer functional and dysfunctional, efficient or inefficient ways of interpreting, perceiving reality. Right there, the cognitive theory or approach was very similar to the Buddhistic approach, because in the Buddhistic approach, the main source for human suffering is, in very similar ways, it lies in the way a person understands reality or perceives the reality. In Buddhistic philosophy, distress stems from ignorance, from seeing reality not the way it really is. In reality, everything is connected to everything else, and everything is in constant process of changing. Nothing is fixed and nothing is independent and stands alone without any relationship to anything else. When we don't see that very clearly, and we believe that I'm separate from you, and that you are fixed, or I'm fixed, or my problem is fixed, or my enemy is fixed, then I'm heading toward trouble. Later, in the cognitive theory of therapy, was integrated with behavior attitudes, and we had c.b.t. Both the cognitive phase and the c.b.t. take much from the Stoic philosophy, Stoicism, and it's amazing how similar Buddhist philosophy and Stoicism are like. More similarities than differences, if any. In the last 12 or 15 years, we have in the c.b.t. the third wave, which includes approaches and treatments like d.b.t, dialectical behavior therapy by Marshall Linehan, and we have MBCT, the mindfulness-based cognitive therapy by Tisdale and Wilson and Siegel, and ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy by Hayes and some of his colleagues. These approaches or these interventions which compose the third wave are almost Buddhism in its pure form. When I teach ACT, I usually introduce it to my students as light Buddhism for Westerners. It's so similar. For example, instead of trying to change the content of the thoughts, as c.b.t people suggest, the people who advocate the third wave treatments suggest that we change our relationship with our thoughts. We don't fight them, we don't try to change them, we accept them. We observe them as phenomena, not very different from external phenomena or processes. We view them and we allow them to happen. We just don't take them too seriously. Acceptance is better enabled by meditation. And mindfulness stands alone as an intervention in MBCT, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, and it's also included in DBT and in ACT, in the acceptance and commitment therapy, as major interventions. More and more behavioral therapists or cognitive behavioral therapists are doing meditation themselves and teach meditation to the clients through a procedure that is called mindfulness, but in actuality is the same as meditation. Observation of the thoughts, feelings, sensation, without any attempt to change them or to get rid of them or replace them by different ones. There are, as I said, more similarities than differences between the two approaches. Some of them will come up as we conduct a dialogue between the two of us. I had the privilege of talking with our distinguished guest on last Wednesday, and I was impressed, among other things, by his insistence that everything should be very clearly defined. Which reminds me that another similarity between the two approaches is in the methodology. Buddha himself told his people when he first presented his philosophy to them, don't believe anyone just because I told you that this is the truth. Don't believe anyone else, or don't believe things just because they were written down in a book. Test the things, examine them, put them into experiment or clear, close observation, and only if they meet your observation, then you can accept them. It's very similar to the evidence-based approach that we entertain in c.b.t. Our guest insists on defining very well everything, and I thought that it might be a nice way to start with a clear definition of what is dialogue, which we are supposed to conduct here tonight. So, just a second.
I should explain it. Dialogue is exactly like monologue, except in the case of monologue, it is one person talking to himself. Dialogue, two persons talking to themselves.
So now that we know what the dialogue is, we can talk to ourselves for the rest of the evening. We know that you're doing a lot of work with trauma victims, and this is also a main concern of many of the behavior or cognitive behavior therapists. I would like to ask you if you can tell us what you do to help victims, trauma victims, to overcome their anxieties, their problems with sleep disturbances, anger or avoidance, and all the other symptoms that we are so familiar with. Can you tell us, please?
it has been almost like 7-8 years ago. I worked with the torture victims about something like 13-14 years. And now the gap of about 7-8 years is a little bit distant. But anyhow, and time to time, yes, still I do meet, not necessarily the Tibetans or Europeans, and so I meet quite varieties of people who come, individually come, and then they express their problem, and then I try to suggest something. So now, related with the Tibetan tortured victim, of course, more focus on the anger. Yes, those who escaped from Tibet to India, and then they came to Dharamsala, where we are, and then slowly, I think some of the Western experts, especially from Denmark, they started investigating. So I think these tortured victims, okay, some are physically tortured and some are physically and mentally tortured. And then imprisonment, the duration of the imprisonment is, some are really long, so like 20 years or 26 years like this. And and then the Danish expert, they thought that the psychological damage must be very, very heavy, you see. And then they started financing, and also they started coming to Dharamsala to help those torture victims. At a time, we had about 26. It's a big job. It is a big job. Well, my responsibility was, as a Buddhist monk, my responsibility was spiritual counseling. And of course, we have quite a nice demarcation. The Danish psychologist and psychotherapist, and myself as a Buddhist, I give counseling from the Buddhist perspective. And then we had also some other doctors, medical doctors also. So we work very closely, and we have been a very good team, you see, very good team, and sharing each other's experience. And so I think better not to tell so much about this. And then now I go directly what I did. So that is maybe more relevant. When I talk about all these things, then I become a little bit emotional, you see, because the problem the Tibetans faced in prison are almost like unbelievable, okay? And then many of them, they really don't want to share. And even if they share, and the Tibetan people are quite reserved and quite shy and not so open, you see. So they just try to keep within themselves, and or even there's a huge problem inside, but they don't share so much. And so I took quite a big responsibility on this area. Why? Because me as a monk, and they're also Buddhist, and I'm also Buddhist. And I was hoping that they will open more to me. But then males, they open quite a lot. But then females, again, there's another sort of obstacle. And some females, they faced quite a lot of, you see, unbelievable sort of torture, you see. And to share everything without any sort of cover was almost like next to impossible. And then also, we are quite new to each other. I'm new to them, and they are also new to me. And I really don't know much about them, and they really don't know much about me. Only our exam government introduced me as like a man, and you can rely on him, and he has been working after many children, and he has quite a lot of experience, and then he knows quite a good Buddhism, and so that was all. That was done only about half an hour. So now to meet them, totally like a stranger. And then also there's another difference, because I was born in Tibet, but I was brought up in India, educated in India. And now they were born in India, in Tibet, brought up in Tibet. And all of a sudden, they released from the prison, and then they started escaping from Tibet, crossing mountain, taking big risk. And then they just came there, you see. So life experience was quite different. Of course, we are Buddhist, but still we have quite a lot of differences. And so now my difficulty with them was how I can build trust. How I can build trust to those 26 torture victims. It varies, sometimes 26, sometimes it goes a little bit more, sometimes a little less, but my responsibility was how I can build trust, you see, trust. And that was the most difficult area for me. And the trust, how I can build the trust, okay? And then, of course, if we become friends for many months or many years, then it will be not a big problem. And then if they have received some teaching from me, then it will be not a big problem. Now we were quite new to each other. And then every week we meet, almost like I give 1 hour, sometimes more, but the time is not so important for me, so I try to give as much as time possible for them. And collectively, in the beginning we did collectively, but then slowly the collective giving some sort of idea was not so effective. And then we did in a personal sort of individual level. And to reach to the heart of the client or those torture victims, especially the young ladies, okay, it was very difficult. It was very difficult, you see. So we need to build a huge trust inside, okay. Artificially we greet each other and smile to each other and serve a cup of tea, and so we do all these things, okay, but that is just only a superficial. So I have to go into them, so that then they will tell their problem just without any sort of coverage. Then I can think, okay, what I can do best, you see. Yes. So that took a lot of time, and mutual understanding, trust, and then sometimes it is, to me, I notice that just talking is not enough. Yes, okay, and then they have their own problem. Okay. Some of them, they need little money. Some of them, they need a shoe. Some of them, they need a friend, or sometimes they need, they need small things, you see. So, actually my responsibility was to give a spiritual counseling, but then I try to do all these things, okay, try to buy a shoe and some books or whatever they need, okay, I just run for everything, okay, try to meet their need, and I run, and sometimes I sweat, you see, I totally, completely exhausted like this, and then they started showing some concern on me. They started showing concern to me, saying, oh yeah, you are working very hard for us. So, and then they started thinking that I think this monk must be very kind to us. Okay, then they started showing concern to me, and then okay, but you don't have to run. We will do. Okay. So you just give me money, and I will buy my shoe, and I will buy my book, and so you don't have to go because you have so many things to do. And then we started becoming good friends. You see. Okay. And then, yes, you can buy and you can do this, you can do that. You can solve this problem and you can solve this problem and you can solve this problem. But anyhow, we need to reach in each other's heart to heart, okay? Yes, if you become artificial to me, I can't do much. If I become artificial, then you will not believe in me. So we have to be really sincere to each other and honest to each other, and that really we really have strong love and compassion towards each other. I'm not saying that I have strong compassion, love towards you, but I also said, okay, you also have to have strong compassion towards me, love towards me, and you can also help me. I can help you. Yes, and I'm not here I'm very wise and yes, I'm spiritual counsel and you have to listen and I will talk everything and then finish and then you go and not like this, not like this, you see. We have to be very careful, okay? You just rely on me. If you feel tired, you just sleep, just there. It's no problem for me. So I just try to create some sort of atmosphere that where they don't feel any sort of uneasiness. And if they wanted to have something, they can just tell, okay, oh, I need a cup of tea. Just in between, I need a cup of tea. Yes, I just give a lot of freedom plus create a nice atmosphere and try to keep connection as healthy as possible, as transparent as possible, and then slowly, okay, slowly. I reached not all, you see, out of 26, maybe about 10, 12. At a time, maybe only reached 1. And then once we become really close friends, and then even the young ladies, they tell all their problems, you see, all their problems. And then they tell that, okay, I was tortured like this, and separated in this way, and then put electric shocks into my sensitive part of the body, and then I was unconscious, and then there's no one who was there, and they dragged me, and still they hit me, and so I have this mark, and then they cry, okay, they cry, they tell everything, okay, and then I cut a little bit of boundary, I also cry with them, and then I said, okay, now we are in a completely different situation. You are free from there, and I'm also here. Even if I can't help, I can arrange anybody to help you. So now you are in a good hand. So you can just, if you don't tell, then we can't do much. Even if we try to do, it will be not so accurate. So in this way, that took a lot of time. But I think I can say, and in nutshell, what I was telling was that any types of client, just to reach the heart of the client is the most important thing. And then after that, okay, and then whatever we wanted to do, then it goes very well. So the flow goes very, very well. And no?
Yeah. So you establish rapport, you establish very close relationship, you identify with them. Sorry. All these are essential, and I think...
Just one, please, just one minute. And then from my Danish friend said, you need to keep distance.
You need to
keep distance. Said, oh, Pema, You are good, but you need to keep distance. Okay? You need to keep distance. And if you just go on doing like this, at the end you will be totally exhausted and you will be completely burned out. Okay? You need to keep distance. And then I cried. I really cried in front of them. And I also cried in the United States. Big audience. In front of big audience, I cried. Why I have to keep distance? Why I have to keep distance? We are coming together. We are trying to help each other. And we are trying to reach each other's heart. And we are really, really sincerely, we really wanted to learn each other and help each other in the healthiest way. Then what is the importance of keeping distance, you see? That was one of the issues we had a long discussion. And then another issue was that I often have tears with them also. And then they also noticed that, okay, now this is not very good. You should not have any tears. You have to be very strong, you see. And then I said, now, I don't know, you see. In the beginning I said, I really don't know. And then later I said, okay, now this is not possible. Without crying, okay, if it comes, yes, I will cry. And then I don't see any mistake there. Yes, okay, because I never noticed that the client, they are treating me as like, oh, you are so weak. Or are you counseling to me, or do we need to counsel you? I have never had this sort of reactions from them. Instead, they show concern. They also wanted to help. And also I need to help. And then I also help them. They need help. And some area I also need their help. I'm not a perfect person. I have a lot of shortcomings. So that made us more relaxed. And so we didn't agree 100%. And then, of course, Danish expert, they especially came to Sweden to interview me. They interviewed about 4 hours or something. So I don't know what happened those interviews, but they came all the way. There's some differences, you see, at that time. Now maybe the difference become more smaller. I think I know many things now. At that time they used, now they don't use. It's all changed here. So please.
I think we all agree that close relationship and some degree of identification with the clients are essential for constructive rapport between therapist and client. But is it enough? Or do we need to do, after we have established a relationship, something else in addition? I mean, the relationship might be just a platform which enables us then to contribute in certain other ways.
So these are just, of course it itself helps a lot, but still there's a lot of jobs to do. After that, and then there's so many things to do. But then there's so many things to do once we have a good connection, relationship, trust each other, then whatever we do, it goes much smoother, much smooth. Okay. Yes, really, it goes so smooth. Still, I can't say 100%, you see, but it's much better. Yes. Yeah.
In our approach, we try to teach clients either to think differently, to interpret their reality differently, or to observe it differently. Depends if you are a c.b.t person or an ACT or d.b.t person. After you establish the relationship, do you attempt to teach them certain skills or to show them a different way of looking at reality, past or present?
Now we have to take a special sort of case or problem.
Okay.
Maybe we can take anger.
Okay.
Yeah. one of the boy who was very, very angry with the Chinese, okay? Very angry. I think there's no doubt if he sees just in front of him a Chinese, I think he will really jump and knock him down or something. I think it was definite, you see. So angry, and we understand, you see. We understand, you see. Because of the torture, And so now he opened his heart to me. He said that, oh, no, I suffered like this. And now in my mind, okay, now my mind is like this. Okay, I'm so angry, just so angry that just by hearing Chinese in Tibet we say yummy. Just by hearing yummy, and especially the yummy, police means police. Okay, okay, police. And then by just recollecting this situation, and then immediately they change whole personality. We built a little bit, and then by reflecting all these things, then they become totally different person. You see, they're so angry, but at least they tell us. They told us that now it is happening like this, and so I'm like this. Okay, so they tell. Okay. And then our responsibility is, okay, so I'm also Tibetan, and so I also heard quite a lot of bad news, and because of this, I also have a very bad experience with the Chinese, and I was very angry. I myself was very angry. Of course, not as angry as they were, but I was really angry. Okay? And in 1975 and 76, I was so angry that I became short-term blind for 2 times. Short-term blind 2 times, okay? 2 times. Yes, in the morning, we have to do a lot of prostration and prayers, and then nothing, okay? No tea, nothing. Just empty stomach, we have to do a lot of prostration and all. And after finishing this, and I went like this, and in the middle, I become blind. I don't see anything. Say, oh, I don't see anything. Please help. And my classmates were laughing. And then I was really blind, you see. And then I went, they took me on the bed, and I just lay down. And slowly again it came back. It happened 2 times. I was very angry. And then I tried to share my experience, okay? Try to share my experience. And I was like this, and then slowly, I tried to analyze. Why I'm angry like this? Why? To whom I'm angry? Okay. Am I angry with all the Chinese? Or just only the officials or politicians or the police? Or am I, to whom I'm angry? And that is one thing. Okay? Of course, this analytical meditation can go very deep. And at that time, I can't do all these deep meditations. Then I said, okay, if I'm angry, it was early in the morning. My mind was also quite fresh. Early in the morning, in the radio, I heard that there was a very heavy flood in China. Heavy floods in China. And then I felt a bit happy. Okay, they deserve it. Okay. I felt a bit happy. And then I went back to bed and said, why I enjoy? Why? By the floods, okay, if someone took away by the flood, maybe not the person who really tortured Tibetan people. See, some innocent children or some might have washed away, but those who really tortured and then key person to torture Tibetan, they might have still alive. So why should I enjoy? And that made me a little bit think. And then slowly I went into myself. So now, actually, actually, now this is the turning point to me, one of the turning point. Then I thought, okay, if I become very angry, who suffers? If I become very angry, short time blind 2 times, and my appetite was very bad, and was very thin, and so I was very unhealthy, and my mother worries a lot, and my father worries a lot. So, and I lost many of my friends. So if I get angry, who suffers? Do the Chinese know whether I'm existing on this planet or not? How? Oh, what a stupid person I am. Getting angry with the Chinese. Chinese, you are very angry, but torturing myself. Really, I was torturing myself. The Chinese really don't know whether I'm existing or not, you see. And how stupid this anger is. So blind, you see. Torturing my mother, making my father so unhappy, my brother and my friend. I lost many of my friends, and so my appetite lost, and I think if I don't stroke, then I will become completely blind, you see. It's possible, some doctors said, you see, and there's no medicine. And then I said, okay, now this is really stupid. This is really stupid, you see. If I get angry with the Chinese, it doesn't make any difference for the Chinese. It makes me so unhappy, so unhealthy, so much pain inside. And so now, oh, this is really, really stupid. Okay? And then I started thinking on this, okay, oh no, why should I get angry? You see? It doesn't make any difference for the Chinese. Even if it does make a difference for the Chinese, my pain will not go away. It will remain within me. And what is the use? If I get angry and if it goes to the Chinese, and then if it goes to Chinese, if I become relieved, okay, there's some justification. But it doesn't. My pain will remain there. It destroys my personality, it destroys my health. Psychologically, yes, I was so unhealthy. So through this, and then I started thinking, okay, I'm searching some ways. And then, of course, I received some teachings really with the thought transforming. Thought transforming means our way of thinking has to be changed. Thought transforming. And that teaching I received from the senior tutor of historian Dalai Lama, about 9 full days. And then by thinking all these things, then I slowly, yes, I of course, it needs a lot of analytical meditation. So, a lot of analytical meditation. Actually, the thought transforming teaches us that why you are angry, where this anger is coming from, this is totally coming from self-attachment. Self-attachment. Okay? We are so attached to one's own self. And because of this, and that anger is coming. So, if you remove self-attachment, and you will not get angry. So, of course, in short, I'm saying it's a long teaching and practice. So, with all these reasons, then after about 11 years, okay, and then my anger went down, and then I was this small change, by thinking all those which I experienced rapidly. And then also doing the thought transforming meditation and all this. And then slowly I was changed a little bit. And that change a little bit really made my life much easier and more comfortable. And my mother was very, very happy. Yes, and still she is very, very happy. And so now I started sharing all these things to them. Okay? So I was also very angry. I was almost like same as you are. So then I just tried in this way, and then so I said, okay, if you could try. Some in the beginning there's no, I don't want to try like this because I really wanted to be very angry with them, and so I wanted to fight against them. And I said, okay. today okay. And next time again we talk another thing, and then slowly again I put more sort of these techniques to develop tolerance, okay. To dismantle anger, we have to develop tolerance. And then I started reading some text from Shantideva and explaining to them, and then through this, it is a long process. It's a long process, yeah. But if we succeed, this is a very, very, very good technique, because Shantideva, he didn't write it just right. He wrote a book. You see, he practiced, and he achieved the result within him, and then he wrote. It's not like did some research there and then not like this. Okay, he practiced, and then he wrote these books. So in this way, then I just try to share my small experience, and then take big experience from Shantideva's text, especially the 6th chapter, and then slowly, okay, yes, still I meet those torture victims. And now two nuns are very good teacher in Tibetan schools, very good teacher, okay. And then many of them, they went to Australia, because Australian government gave asylum to them, special asylum to them. And they went to, so we often write. And of course, this all are not my achievement, you see, or my Danish friend, and some medical doctors, and everyone jointly. But I think so, it helped a little bit, I think so, yeah.
Okay, so I think that this is c.b.t at its best, a cognitive change, change in your view of the Chinese, and a change in your view of your own anger, and the results of your own anger enabled you eventually to let it go. You stress a point that it's a long process. We don't have that much time. Clients come in, they want quite fast change. Between 3 to 12 sessions at most. 50 minutes. What is the essence of the process? If you want to make it as quickly as possible, what would you emphasize?
Yeah. Some of my friends are enjoying. They are thinking now he faces problem.
And let's see how good this monk can solve.
Yeah, my friends are showing. Okay, now I think you are quite clever with us. Now we will see you get that thing like this. You see. So I will give one direct answer, and then I slowly give a little slow answer. Okay. And the Buddhism, the technique developed in Buddhism is a technique or teaching which is aiming to solve the problem permanently. Okay. Yes, like we are talking about nirvana and enlightenment and all these things, you see. And once we achieve nirvana, once we achieve enlightenment, then there will be no problem, okay. The problem and source of the problems are all gone. Okay. So because of this, I am taking from this teaching, and it is like a lifelong practice. Okay. Even I spend all my life, still I may not succeed the highest achievement. So it's possible. But still, yes, if we try, it can make a lot of changes. But now the time, yes, I know that. So I often meet some people in the West, and sometimes timings are like, recently we had only about 20 minutes, isn't it? When in the retreat, so they say, okay, you are in private meeting with this 20 minutes, and next is 20 minutes, and next 20 minutes, okay? Yes, of course we have to adjust with this, we have to respect it. But then, I'm a naughty monk, okay, I'm a really naughty monk. I don't follow all these rigid routines or curriculums. Even I don't stay in the monastery. See, I run everywhere in the village, and then so I'm a naughty monk. So time for me is I think we have to put it the priority. Okay, one thing is we have to put a priority. If someone is really, really serious, and then if I say I have no time, I think I can't do like this. I have to give time. I have to give time. Because time is made by us, okay? And time didn't make us, you see. We made the time, okay? And then time didn't make us. So we should not be a slave of the time. We have to overcome, okay? Of course, if you have like 10 clients or 20 clients, okay, in a day, everything is not possible. But then among them, which one is the serious, okay? Which one needs a maximum sort of attention? Okay, so by putting in this, that is, yes, I tried. I tried in this way, okay, I'm practically speaking, I tried in this way. And these days I'm quite busy, but I never say that I'm busy or I'm tired. I never say it, because this is, I have chosen it. I have chosen it, you see. If I have chosen, then if I have chosen, then I have to do it. Or I say, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'll leave this and I'm going to do another way. That is the only alternative left. So wanted to do this, but then a little bit I have time and I don't have time, and that is very difficult in the Western world. I know this, very difficult, but I will say you have to have time. Of course you will not agree with me. You will not agree with me. And yeah, I wake up at 2 o'clock or 2:30, and then, yes, sometimes I hardly sleep, you see. Yes, I just make my time because I have to do all these things. I have my own practice, Buddhist practice, I have to do regularly. I can't escape from there. And then I do quite a lot of projects, and then I have many friends, and so, yes, I have to manage. But if you do, now it's a little bit too much here. So, yes, we have to have time. Of course, not so practical. Sorry, it is not so practical, but yes, yes, we have to, yes. And then, so, like, there are certain factors which also disturbs quite a lot. And no, that was just ask.
As I mentioned earlier, in the third wave of our approach, all the different systems use meditation, mindfulness, which is usually defined as focused attention to internal and external phenomena without any judgment. Just observing, noticing whatever happens inside you or outside you, cognitions, memories, feelings, sensations, sounds from the outside, everything, without preferring one over the other, without judging them as being good or bad. And I would like to ask you if you would use meditation with an anger patient who comes in and complains about exaggerated incidents of anger, which are too frequent and too strong. Would you use meditation as a tool, or is it a part of every interaction with any client?